Evening, everyone. Happy Friday. I am Jessica Alvarez, your student meteorologist. So if we look at Doak Campbell Stadium, look at this beautiful sunset over here, this cotton candy skies. It's just very super pleasant if you want to have a walk. So looking at our current temperature right now, we have some clear skies, 53 degrees, with a slight wind from the north-northeast at 5 miles per hour. With our current temperatures, we are maintaining those cool temperatures across the Big Bend. We are having temperatures within the 50s, lower 50s, going into the higher 50s as we head closer into the coast. With just the local, we're going a little bit different today. We are seeing quite a bit of snow across the Great Lakes, and you're going to learn a bit more of how that forms. And with tonight's headlines, we are having such a wild November. We had tropics last week, and now we're going to have near freezing temperatures. We're going to have some cold temperatures and some possible rain this weekend, and we also are going to find out more information about lake effect snow.
Good evening, folks, and welcome to your Friday edition of FSU Weather. I'm student meteorologist Alejandra Garcia. And folks, if you've been anywhere near the Panhandle, it's been quite chilly for us here, folks. It's been just quite cold. I've been starting to wear layers. I'm even wearing a turtleneck. Guys, it's very chilly. I know a lot of people have been busting out their big fluffy jackets looking like some big hairy farm llamas, if you ask me, if you're wearing that Sherpa jacket. But we're going to continue to see that cold persist throughout the weekend, especially if you guys are going to the football game this weekend. I'm sorry to break it to you, but it's going to be a little bit cloudy and quite chilly. In the morning, it's going to be, I believe, in the 30s. So if you are going to any sporting events this weekend, especially to our football game, make sure you're dressing in layers and make sure you guys are staying warm. I know the flu is going around, and I know COVID is not out of the area, so you guys really have to be dressing warm and making sure you're staying safe. But we have a great show for you guys today. We have a great educational segment on lake effect snow that's affecting our neighbors up in the Midwest. But we're going to bring it back to the wall with Nico, who's just going to give us a look at our local.
Thank you, Ale. So first we're going to look. It's currently 53 degrees under sunny skies at Doak Campbell Stadium. It's really nice out this evening. I like this cool weather. It's definitely going to be a nice evening to be outside. If you go to the reservation, it's also 53 degrees at the FSU reservation as well. So that's going to be a nice feeling this evening. However, if you're out on the lake, that might not feel too nice, as it's going to be pretty chilly. But tonight, or in Panama City, it's sunny and 60. I don't know why the moon icon is up, but it's going to be sun setting soon anyway. It actually looks like a really nice sunset down in the corner, if you can see it. Our winds are out of the north-northeast at 7 miles an hour right now. As you look at your temperature almanac, 60 degrees today in Tallahassee. We got a little bit warmer. It was sunny out today, and that caused us to get a little bit warmer, but look at our low temperature, 36. That's 11 degrees below the average low. So it was chilly this morning if you were out and about. We did not quite get to our record low at 27 though. But as we take a look at your radar, there's nothing. It's nice out this evening, and it's going to stay that way. It's going to stay dry. It's currently 53 in Tallahassee, so it is getting chilly pretty quickly. We've got 46 as our cool spot in Quincy right now. 45 in Thomasville is another cool spot. Our warmer spots are 58 and 59 in Crawfordville and Sumatra. I think that 50-degree reading might either be a little bit too chilly, or they might be having some clouds down in Apalachicola. As you look at your current dew points, though, 26-degree dew point in Tallahassee. This is very dry air. Look at your dew point up in Donaldsonville, 22. This is even drier air than what we had yesterday. As you're taking a look at tonight's forecast, it's going to be cloudy by tomorrow morning. It's staying clear in the evening, but it's going to cloud up, which is going to make our temperature stay a little warmer because of radiation. It's going to only be 45 tomorrow morning, but it's going to feel really chilly under those clouds tomorrow morning. Taking a look at your future radar, it stays clear this evening, but as you can see, we get the clouds coming in tomorrow. We don't see any rain. We might have some breaks in the clouds, but it's going to be an overcast day. The good news is if you're going to the football game tomorrow like I am, we won't get rained on at the game, and it's actually going to feel pretty nice out. Tomorrow's forecast It's going to be about 60 degrees under cloudy skies. It's going to be dreary for parts of the day, but the good news is it's not going to rain. So if you have outdoor activities planned for tomorrow, then you will be fine. But tonight in Tallahassee, it's going to be 39 under partly cloudy skies. And looking at your 7-day forecast, which the graphic is not really popping up, but I can tell you what it looks like. It looks like it's going to warm up as you go into next week for Thanksgiving. So, and we may have some rain with a system on Tuesday, but now I'm going to pass things off to Nicholas.
Thank you, Nico. Yeah, so since it is Friday, we have another edition of FSU Weather in Spanish. This time we're going to be taking a look at Florida. Buenas tardes, yo soy estudiante meteorólogo Nicolás Porcelli, mostrándole en nuestro otro segmento de FSU Weather en español, vamos a estar mirando a la Florida. En este momento el radar no muestra ninguna actividad de precipitación, solo unas lluvias pasajeras aquí por el medio al sur de la Florida, pero el resto del estado está despejado y como pueden ver aquí en esta imagen en vivo desde Pensacola Beach, va a ser un atardecer muy muy linda, con cielos muy despejados, pero sí pueden ver que va a haber temperaturas muy frescas, 51 en este momento, y una brisa desde el norte a 5 millas por hora. Para el radar del Florida Panhandle, como pueden ver en la imagen, no hay ninguna actividad de precipitación y pueden esperar una noche muy linda ahora que ya pasó el frente frío y pueden esperar condiciones muy lindas por los próximos 3 días. Y en Gainesville también tenemos un atardecer muy linda, con cielos despejados y temperaturas también frescas de 59 grados y una brisa desde el noreste a 4 millas por hora. Y como pueden ver en la imagen, también el radar de la norte de la Florida muestra que no hay casi ninguna actividad de precipitación y va a ser una noche muy linda sin lluvia. Pero en Fort Lauderdale en este momento está nublado, ahora que ya recién pasó el frente frío por esa región, trajo unas nubes desde el norte, por eso está un poco nublado y también está un poco más cálido, con temperaturas de 78 y un viento desde el noreste a 11 millas por hora. Y como pueden ver, también el radar, aunque hay nubes, no hay casi nada de actividad de lluvia, solo unas lluvias pasajeras aquí por el medio del estado, pero la mayoría del sur de la Florida también puede esperar una noche muy linda sin amenaza de lluvia. Para las temperaturas del momento, aquí en el sur de la Florida, un poco más cálido, 75 Miami, 77 en Key West, pero hacia que va hacia el norte, pueden esperar temperaturas un poco más frescas en Orlando, 62, y más al norte en la Florida, en Jacksonville, 51. Y para el punto de rocío, pueden ver que aquí en Tallahassee, en la parte norte de la Florida, está muy muy seco, el punto de rocío de 26 aquí, por eso tenemos se siente un poco más frío de lo normal, y aquí en la Florida, al sur de la Florida está un poco más cálido, y también el punto de rocío está un poco más alto, entonces no se siente tan frío. Y para el pronóstico de la noche pueden ver que la mayoría del estado va a tener temperaturas más abajo de lo normal, en Tallahassee 45 y en Jacksonville 48. Y como pueden ver, el radar del futuro también no muestra casi ninguna actividad de lluvia, solo unas lluvias pasajeras en el centro del estado. Y para mañana podemos esperar unas temperaturas un poco frescas, aquí en el norte 60 y más abajo al sur en los 80s. Now I'm passing it off to Jessica with a look at Southeast.
So thank you. Now we're going to broaden our horizon. We're not just looking at Florida, but we are looking across the country. And right now we are just having some of those sunsets. So look over at like Charlotte, North Carolina and like Tennessee. Also looking at Tampa and New Orleans, excuse me. It's looking pretty nice, but it is still pretty chilly. I think it is Big Hairy Farm Llama approved. So going into more detail, you see that low pressure system and that cold front. So you have like that chilly temperatures right now, but with that cold front coming across, you're going to have like a lot more cooler temperatures coming into this weekend. Going into more of the current temperatures, you are still going to be seeing that cooler weather. You are going to be having those temperatures up into as low as the 40s. And some areas are going to be more into the 40s and 50s. But luckily, you do have a few spots of warmth. Maybe that's why the birds migrate for the winter. Probably would do that as well. Also having those temperatures more towards the 60s, heading into the 70s in Miami. with our current winds, you see a bit of like various winds. That is due to that low pressure system bringing those various winds with that rotation. Having some decent winds with 6 miles per hour, 8 miles per hour in Memphis. But look over at Dallas. 16 miles per hour, and especially with having like those cooler temperatures, that wind chill, it's going to make it feel a lot cooler than it actually is. Going into more so of this weekend, you are still going to be having more of those cooler temperatures, especially with the cloud coverage. It's going to keep more so of those temperatures within a similar range. As you can see, more so within the Gulf of Mexico, you are going to have those rains, and you're going to have a little bit affect the panhandle. So be careful and make sure to bring a jacket and also an umbrella. Going into more of that muggy cast, you are going to have some more dry air persisting throughout the weekend. And going a little bit further, it's just going to be really persistent, but still you're going to have some spots like in Miami having those humidity, like a lot of those muggy conditions. Going now, traveling a little bit more across the region, you're going to have Charlotte having like those clear skies, a little bit of clouds, and you're going to have a lot of those freezing temperatures, rain into Tuesday. Going into Nashville, about similar conditions, but it's really pleasant, but make sure to bundle up, especially with looking at those like low 20s right there. I know I would be really cold. Tampa, you're going to have a bit of that rain, but luckily some warmer temperatures. And finally, with New Orleans, you are going to have some rain in Saturday, going a little bit in the Sunday, Monday, cloudy, and Tuesday going back into that rain. Now we're going to get a bigger scope heading into passing it off to Nicholas, going into that broader scope of national.
Yeah, so at the national level, it's pretty much the same story as in the southeast. Most of the country is looking at these really, really cool temperatures. As you can see, most of it is associated with this front right here that's actually bringing a lot of snow to the northeast New England region. But basically the whole country right now is under some sort of cold watch or some sort of low temperatures. So as you can see from the national water vapor, the only place where there's really some moisture right now is in Texas, Arkansas regions, bringing some snow to that region, and also right here in the northern part of the country. That's where all that moisture is, once it goes over the Great Lakes, it brings all that lake effect snow that's affecting much of New York. So as I was saying, much of the temperatures in most of the country are really, really cold right now. In Billings, 19 degrees, all the way up here in just freezing temperatures. Going pretty far south into the southeast region right here near Memphis, we're looking at cold temperatures close to freezing as well. So most of the country is under a really, really strong cold snap. And this is also accentuated by the dew points, as you can see right here. The whole country is really, really dry. All the way down south, all the way down to Tallahassee right here and Miami, we're looking at really, really low dew points that we're really not used to, which is accentuating that cold feeling and making that us feel a little drier and a little cooler. So here we can see the temperature anomalies. Nearly the whole country is looking at max temperature anomalies of cooler temperatures. So essentially, the max temperature that we have for the day is much, much lower below our average. So most of the country is seeing max temperature anomalies of up to maybe even 20 degrees. So we are actually looking at temperatures that are very, very different to what we are used to. It's been very, very cold this past week. Same thing with minimum temperatures, especially here in the Great Plains region. We're looking at temperatures really of low temperatures that we are not used to, more than what we are used to. Most of the country is looking at close to record cold temperatures and cold minimum temperatures. As for our drought monitor, again, most of the country is still under some sort of drought, especially the Great Plains region, Oklahoma, Nebraska, Kansas, looking at extreme to exceptional drought for most of this country. And it's starting to creep its way west, as we can see here, zooming into Tallahassee. We are now under a severe drought warning, and the rest of the southeast is either on moderate or is approaching that severe drought. So these dew point temperatures are definitely not helping out our cause, and we're probably going to continue to see these drought conditions for the time being, even into the next few weeks, because we do not expect much precipitation to come along. As for the southeast radar, again, there's not much in terms of precipitation happening. The only thing that as I mentioned before, was this sort of moisture up here near Arkansas and Oklahoma that might be bringing some snow actually to the region tonight. But for the rest of the southeast, it's pretty clear. Now that we're under that high, now that that cold front has passed, there's not really much in terms of precipitation or moisture. But the northeast, that's where most of the action is happening. So the low pressure system situated right here around the Great Lakes region, and all that cold air being brought in from the front is bringing some really, really strong snowfall totals up to like 5 feet of snow in Buffalo. As for overnight temperatures, it's going to be pretty cold. As you can see, most of the country is going to be below freezing temperatures, and except for the southeast, it's going to be a little bit warmer. Now I'm going to pass it off to Nico for a look at the tropics.
Thank you, Nicholas. Yeah, we're going to be tracking the tropics. Keep in mind, it's still hurricane season. We just had Tropical Storm Nicole last Thursday. So the next name on the list, should we get something to form, would be Owen. So we definitely have to watch for that. The season does not end until November 30th. So, and this is a recap. You can see the main one that we had this year, which was Hurricane Ian. Hurricane Ian was a very strong storm, and the deadliest storm we've had in the state of Florida since, I think, 1935. But right now, if you're looking in the tropics, you've got a cold front here. You've got some convection here, but I don't think that it has too much of a chance of developing, but I have seen stuff in the weather models indicating a weak Gulf low next Tuesday, so that's definitely something to keep an eye on. And then out here, we have a lot of convection out by Africa, but that probably is not anything to worry about. We do have no development expected in the next 5 days, which is a good sign at this time of the year, because we are nearing the end of hurricane season. It looks like we're just going to have high pressure dominating, which is going to keep us away from any tropical threats, at least through the next few days. As we're getting into Sunday, we have ridging, and we have a weak cold front over the area, which would deflect anything away from us. But as you're looking at your sea surface temperatures, here's another reason. The sea surface temperatures in the northern Gulf are cold at this point. Now, down by Miami, you still have warm temperatures, so you could still get something if something tries to form here. And as you look at your Gulf water vapor, you do have some convection. In the main development region, you have mostly dry air right now, so I'm not too worried about anything forming out here, but it's always a good idea to keep an eye on the tropics until the season ends. But now I'm going to pass things off to Alec.
Thank you so much, Nico. Yeah, folks, we're going to take a little bit of a sharp turn. We're going to be cooling things down with this educational segment where we're going to be talking about lake effect snow. So if we have any viewers currently near the Great Lakes, I know you guys have been experiencing a lot of snow recently, and it's because of that lake effect snow from the Great Lakes. So lake effect snow forms when cold air moves over relatively warm water. So you guys have been having these record-breaking low temperatures over that warmer water from the Great Lakes, because water has a higher specific heat capacity, so it retains heat a lot better than air does. And that moisture will condense to form clouds containing snow and ice, again, because it's just such cold temperatures, that precipitation is going to be quite snowy or icy. So as that snow gets heavy enough, it can no longer stay up in the cloud, and it will eventually fall downwind towards the surface. And we actually have a nice little graphic for you to visualize that, so you can see that cold air over on the left side of your screen, or perhaps the right side of your screen, and that cold air moves over that warm lake water, again retaining that warm heat a lot better than that air does, and you see those clouds forming. It's very similar to convection like that we see here in Florida, but it just gets these bigger clouds. That snow keeps building up inside those clouds, and then eventually just absolutely demolishes these areas with that snow and that ice. So here's just a radar of really the Great Lakes right now. You can see all that snow looking like a big, hairy farm llama. Look at that white snow moving over all these places of land in Michigan, Wisconsin, even areas of Pennsylvania and New York. Again, that future radar showing that snow moving through the area and just really unloading a lot of snow for these areas. I know some places can be seen even up to 5 to 8 inches of snow. Here's that snowfall forecast showing that increasing snow amount in some of these areas, and just going to get worse throughout the weekend with some places, especially in New York, seeing up to 5 to 8 inches of snow. So if you guys are in these areas, make sure you're staying warm. Make sure you have blankets just in case you have any snow-ins or you lose power. Make sure you guys are staying safe and warm. Now, why don't we pass things over to Jessica, who's going to warm things up with our local.
Of course. This is definitely just like another take. So going into Doak Campbell Stadium, we finally see the sunset, bringing in those night skies. Also still having those cooler temperatures of 54 degrees and clear skies with just a very slight breeze, so it is a really nice time to go out and take a walk, really de-stress, and just finally relax before that break that we're going to be having. Looking at the local area, oh my gosh, look at Panama City. It is so beautiful, so definitely take a picture outside. This is some really nice skies. You still have like a bit of clear skies within across the area, Sportsplex, George Island, and across the lake near the Res, but still very pleasant. Our local radar, as mentioned before, you're not really seeing anything. You may have some pop-up showers more so within Georgia, but it's still really nice to look out. Going with our current temperatures, you're cooling down a little bit from a bit earlier. We're now seeing some temperatures in the mid-40s, but you still have some cooler but not as cool temperatures, more so in the 60s in Crawford and St. Mark's. Tonight's forecast is going to be cooling down even further, and you're going to have a little bit of rain going into Saturday morning. So if you are around that time outside, make sure to bring a jacket as well and an umbrella. And stargazing before that rain comes in is looking really nice in those conditions, and you're going to be able to enjoy it until about 7 a.m. So if you want to go out, look at the stars. It's a really nice time. Our future radar, we are going to be having some clouds moving in towards the weekend, having some winds from the north, northeast. So we're going to see a little bit of different things coming into this weekend. Tomorrow's forecast is going to be a near repeat of today. We're going to be having those temperatures within the 50s and also the 60s. Pretty cloudy skies. May not see much of a difference due to that cloud coverage keeping us a little bit warmer. Luckily, for break, we're not really going to be seeing any delays out of Tallahassee International Airport, so that is really good if you are leaving early. And going into more across the country, luckily, no delays, really nice. So make sure to have those travel plans and keep looking more so for the airport delays just in case. If you want to happen to go to the beach, it is going to be really cool, so just make sure to stay warm, but you are going to have quite a bit of winds. And going into our 7-day forecast, you are going to be seeing a bit of that cloud coverage and a little bit of rain, and you're going to still have some of those cooler temperatures with the 50s, warming up a bit next week, but make sure on those days, Tuesdays and Fridays, when it comes to that rain chance, make sure to bring that umbrella. Now, I'm going to pass it to Nicholas.
Yeah, thank you, Jessica. Yeah, it's been pretty cold recently. I'm definitely going to invest in a big hairy farm llama. You just get unlimited fleece so you can get warm. Over here for men's golf, we're going to be looking at the sports. And men's golf is going to be playing in Panama City Beach, and it's actually going to be pretty cool. 7 a.m. starting 49 degrees. It's going to warm up just a little bit, make its way up into the maybe crack the 60s possibly, but it probably looks like it's going to stay in the 50s, 52 by noon and 53 at 5 p.m. So it's going to be a pretty cold day for a round of golf. And as for our look at the radar, we are going to see some clouds that are actually associated with the front that just passed. It doesn't seem like it will bring any precipitation, but we will be seeing some clouds move into the area from the west. But other than that, it seems like it's going to be a pretty nice day for a round of golf. As for our swimming and diving team, we are playing in Athens, Georgia. 51 degrees. It's going to warm up just a little bit. Again, just like in Panama City Beach, might not even crack the 60s. It's going to go to 53 at 3 p.m. and 52 at 5 p.m. So it's going to be pretty cold. I definitely hope they're swimming indoors or the pools are definitely heated because it's going to be pretty cold conditions. Just like in Panama City, there are going to be some clouds moving into the area, but then they're going to move their way out towards the east, and there won't seem to be any rain or any precipitation. As for our basketball, our women's basketball plays at Houston. It's going to be cold, just like in the rest of the Southeast. Temperatures in the mid to upper 40s for most of the day, and it's also going to be cloudy. Maybe some scattered showers here and there coming from the Gulf, but it doesn't seem to be too much of precipitation. Oh, there actually right there is going to be some precipitation. And for our men's basketball versus Florida, we have a rivalry game today, 8 p.m., 45 degrees, but it's going to be hopefully we get our first win. The Gators look pretty strong, and we don't look too strong. As for Louisiana, on Saturday, we play FSU. FSU plays Louisiana in Tallahassee, noon kickoff. It's going to be pretty cold, 55 degrees, and it's going to might not even crack 60 again, just like in the rest of the Southeast. As for the future radar, we just, again, have some clouds moving in from the west, and making its way out by the end of the day. As for our final FSU home game, we host the Gators. Hopefully this is going to be a win. We haven't beat the Gators in over 4 years. This time we're going to be playing at Doak. We're coming on strong. Hopefully we can beat the Gators. It's going to be pretty chilly, actually. High of 64, low of 52. Maybe Chief Osceola is going to ride out on a big hairy farm llama this time, because I don't know if the horse can handle this kind of temperature. But it's going to be a pretty nice night. Hopefully we get that win. Now, how are things looking around town, Ale?
Thank you so much, Nicholas. Around town, folks, it's chilly. It's been chilly. Local radar showing really nice conditions for us here. We're not expecting any precipitation anytime soon. No surprises. Looking like clear skies for us here with that high pressure that has moved into our area after that cold front. Future radar seeing some cloud moving into the area, but no precipitation to be expected. Perhaps just cloudy skies for us here in Tallahassee. I know it's going to be quite a bummer because we do have that big football game on Saturday, but make sure you guys are dressing in layers, and at least you won't get a sunburn if you're going out tonight. That overnight forecast is looking cold, folks. I know you guys want to go out in shorts and your crop tops and your little bandeau tops, but maybe you should bring a Sherpa jacket. You know, the big hairy farm llama look is in, folks, and it will prevent you from feeling that 39 degrees at 2 a.m. when you're leaving the club. If you're walking your dog tomorrow, it's going to be 40 degrees in the morning, 54 at 11 a.m. if you decide to walk them later. But make sure you're dressing in layers because it is going to be quite chilly for anybody going outside tomorrow. If you're driving like I'm driving, I'm going to Jacksonville tomorrow to pick up my sister. I'm excited because it's going to be cloudy, and maybe that sun won't be blinding my eyes when I'm driving through the northern part of Florida. 47 in the morning, warming up to 58. It might not break the 60s, folks, so make sure, again, you're dressing appropriately for the weather. If you're flying tomorrow, it's going to be no delays, and it's going to be a similar story for the rest of the nation. And yeah, folks, it's just going to be quite a beautiful weekend. I know we're going to see some clouds, and it's going to be quite chilly. But you know what, Nicholas? Nico actually is at the closing desk, is going to wrap up our show for us. Nico?
Thank you, Ale. Yeah, we're going to have some chilly weather this weekend, but it's going to feel nice. I like the cold weather, so it's going to be nice to be out and about. I'm not going to go and sweat at the game, so that's going to feel nice. But if you're traveling for Thanksgiving, definitely be prepared for some wet weather, especially on Tuesday. It is looking, based on what I've been seeing in the weather models, that we could potentially have some heavy rain. And I know that's the last day of classes, so a lot of people will be driving home that day. So definitely be weather aware if you're driving in heavy rain. Be careful out on the roadways. But as for this weekend, if you're going out tomorrow and enjoying the game or doing anything else, you don't have to worry about any rain tomorrow. You may have to worry about some light rain on Sunday and Monday, but definitely everybody should be able to enjoy their Thanksgiving, even though it might be a rainy one for the Southeast. You can always follow us on Twitter at www.twitter.com/FSUweather. You can like us on Facebook at www.facebook.com/FSUweather. You can always watch us live on YouTube like you probably are right now on www.youtube.com/FSUweather, and you can always follow us on Instagram at FSUweather, and you can always send us pictures if we have any interesting weather events, and we'll see them, and that will always be good. But we're going to leave you with one last look at your 7-day forecast.